how good your pocket pair is, Gavin, that ace is going to get there.
It's one of those days. They call the queens and kings ace magnets. It's been true today.
Ace magnets, love it. EPT raising from the cutoff here with ace-jack. And is Salvatore Bonavena contemplating making a move here with 6-4 of clubs?
Their stacks are pretty deep. These are the two chip leaders at the table. When I have a lot of chips, I like to try to pick on the other guys who have chips. So it'd be a nice little re-raise here. Or a flat call. That's not too bad either.
Yeah, he does have the button. He does have position. Squeeze that deuce.
What's he really trying to find? He wants the ace of hearts or another deuce. I guess some people just like the suspense.
It's good for TV.
9 of cups, 5 of diamonds, 9 of hearts.
And nothing flop. Tough to continuation bet on that flop, Gavin. You're going to get called a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, no pair is going to fold that flop. You know, 8-9, 10-9, all these hands look pretty good. 6-7 looks pretty good.
King of hearts.
Good check by Bonavena. EPT might not fold the ace high on a paired board.
Crucially, he could now represent the king. But no, he checks. A quick bet from Bonavena gets the job done.
Quick bet, quick fold.
Nice positional play from Salvatore Bonavena. And he now takes the table chip lead from Roger EPT.
Tea is sponsored by PokerStars.com.
Welcome back to the PokerStars.com European Poker Tour, coming to you from Monte Carlo. It's grand final time and just 20 remain in the battle for the title.
And here in the Cell des Etoiles, we've swapped tables. We've got some new faces for you to take a look at, including Claudio Cezu, the Romanian who doubled up a short while ago. We've got European Poker Tour regular Ramzi Jalassi. And we have the current tournament chip leader, Finnish high-stakes cash game specialist Sami Kelopuro. In fact, let's take a look at the current chip count. Let's take a look at the top 8. Kelopuro out in front with 2.9 million. Kevin Easter second in chips. We've got two Brits in the top 5, Matt Perrins and Craig McCorkle, both good friends of Jake Cody, who took down the Deauville leg of the EPT this season, and Salvatore Bonavena still in the top 8. Blinds are up, 20,000, 40,000 with a 4,000 ante.
I have never seen anybody look at their cards like that. That was crazy.
That was JF Talbot. He's folded, as has Kelopuro. Nicola Schwiti gets out of the way. So, with the pocket aces, Claudio Cezu will get things started.
Cezu got the ace on the river. Now he's got the two aces pre-flop.
This is the colourful Emanuele Regini.
All in.
All in, just the chips that
And a horrible spot for him to move all in with queens, which he figures are probably the best hand. They're not. Insta-call by Cezu with the aces.
Showdown, gentlemen. Showdown.
You love having queens with a 20 big blind stack, but you hate seeing two aces. Got one of his suits dominated. Regini's going to need a queen or spades.
There's the queen.
Cezu takes it relatively well so far. No reaction really from either guy.
Aces cracked by queens, pretty standard, right?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Two outer for Cezu, needs an ace, doesn't get there. Regini doubles up. And hopefully he can button up his shirt a little bit. Not a pleasant picture.
No real reaction during the hand, but Cezu steaming on the inside.
Well, we just saw queens against aces on our feature table. Now it's queens against kings and a massive pot. The kings belong to Craig McCorkle, the queens in the hand of Kevin Easter, the former chip leader. All the money went in pre-flop. And McCorkle will be our new chip leader. Huge pot.
Great time to get kings against queens.
Sometimes the best hand holds up, right?
That's right.
Not often, but sometimes. We are going to sweat with Sami Gelapuro, the recently deposed chip leader. He has ace-king. We're only going to see his whole cards.
That's a pretty good hand to start with, ace-king. A little bit of a sloppy raise from Sami.
He's made it 95,000. Nicola Schwiti showing some interest here. Chip denominations, by the way. The orange chips are worth 25,000, the blues are 10,000, and the yellows are 5,000.
Again, two of our big chip leaders are going to be clashing here. Schwiti just a little bit behind Gelapuro.
So it's a re-raise to 240,000. So let's put ourselves in Gelapuro's position here, Gavin.
Well, Sami opens from under the gun, gets re-raised by Schwiti, who's very next to act. It's a extremely strong re-raise. Not a very big one either, just makes it 240,000.
Well, hang on a second. Is Jelassi going to get involved as well? I thought it was going to simply come back around to Sami, and he's got a decision whether to re-raise, call, or get out of the way, but...
Jelassi considering his options. Picks the safest one, he folds.
So it does come back to Sami. So here's my question, Gavin. Out of position against this guy's 3-bet.
Like 2.1, 2.2.
Re-raise or call?
I think, you know, the default play here is to re-raise and get all the money in. And, you know, hope your ace-king is the best hand. But, you know, there are certainly other options. The problem with ace-king is it doesn't really play that well after the flop out of position.
Well, Sami has decided to call. He is going to play the hand out of position against the guy who had the pre-flop betting lead.
Sami doesn't want to risk too many of his chips on this one hand pre-flop.
4 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, 4 of clubs.
Great flop for any pair. Pretty horrible flop for ace-king. He checks it. I figure any kind of bet gets through here, Gavin.
Gelapuro could look to turn his ace-king into a bluff if Schwiti bets, but it's a little bit of a dicey proposition.
325,000.
Bets 325 into a pot of 575.
What do you reckon Schwiti's got? Something like 7s, 8s, 9s?
I don't think it's that weak. If it's a pair, it's going to be a big pair. 7s, 8s, 9s. He's probably just going to flat, see a flop. You know, I think he's either, you know, on some sort of crazy bluff, or he's got a really big hand.
With a double paired board now.
Sami checks.
What do you think about Sami's call on the flop?
Calling the flop makes sense. You know, he's ahead of all other ace highs. He might be able to win the pot on a later street.
Well, I went check on the turn.
But now Sami, he's chopping with all other ace highs. He might try to fold out a chop by betting here.
Check. 6s.
Nicola checks.
It's good.
Showdown.
It's good.
Nicola shows.
Wow, the re-raise with 6s is a little bit loose pre-flop. Chip leader against chip leader.
My God.
And I think he realizes that it was sort of a weak play there.
I gave him too much credit by putting him on 7s.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be happy to win that pot.
The Monte Carlo Grand Final is as popular as ever. 848 players entered, creating a prize pool of nearly €8.5 million and a staggering first prize of €1.7 million. And it won't be going to Claudio Seizu. He is our latest elimination, knocked out in 20th place by Emanuele Regini for €50,000. 19 remain.
So still 3 tables. When we're down to 16 players, we'll be down to 2.
Jack King or something?
No.
This is our feature table, featuring, among others, Ramsey Jalassi.
No, I don't think he does this. The same hand 3 times in a row.
Not going to play the Queen at 7.
I switched over to the two-handed grip. Do you see that? I knew it was going to happen.
We'll talk to JF and say, Gavin Griffin has issues with the way you look at your hole cards.
Well, it's not very secure. People might be able to see them.
Look at this, a button raise from Sami Gelapuro with 4 deuce off suit.
Well, Sami clearly thinks he's the best player at the table if he's going to open the 4 high on the button.
Mesbah Giafi defends his big blind with King 10 of hearts. Top pair for Giafi.
At first glance, it looks like a really good flop for King 10. But 10, 9, 8, 2 spades isn't the best. Lots of draws. Now the ace is out there.
So it went check, check on the flop. Giafi checks again on the turn. Gelapuro now considering whether to take a shot at this. 234,000 in the middle.